On this episode on Chump for Chumps, we're talking about the NBA playoffs. NBA playoffs, Devon, right around the corner here. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts heading into the playoffs? Who are your favorites? Just sort of that sort of thing. What are you thinking so far? Heading right into.
Got me on the spot here. Well, in the West, my favorites are probably the Rockets.
Your favorites are the Rockets?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your
favorite.
Very interesting team.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you that Houston is.
But
absolutely.
Very good defensive team. Probably got the MVP.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Dwight Howard.
It's right in the conversation, Harden. Yeah.
Dwight Howard's coming back.
He's back. He's back. Absolutely. Our programmer Noah's excited. He loves him some Dwight Howard.
You also got the depth there. You got Corey Brewer.
You do have Josh Smith as well.
Perfect small forward, power forward.
You know,
you got
not perfect for the Pistons, but perfect.
You got Monty Eunice.
Monty Eunice, yeah. I mean, Houston survived injuries this year to still have a good season.
Surprising. They got that Priglione guy, which is
Pablo Priglione.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
back up
sure.
One card.
Yeah. Well, Beverly's hurt now. I don't know how long is Beverly.
A week, maybe.
A week, yeah. So hopefully he'll be right around the corner.
Yeah, and for Harden, Beverly's a perfect piece for that team because he doesn't score, plays defense, shoots the ball.
Yeah.
But they have so many pieces that work together because Dwight's not that face up.
No.
Or back to the basket.
No, he's not.
He can get the rebounds
the one part of his
and go
game
hard.
that suffers.
You got Terrence Jones. You got a lot of guys that could start.
You're 9 deep.
The Jets.
Houston. Jason
Terry.
Jason Terry's aged carcass is on that team, yes.
He's not terrible.
He's ancient, though. He is old. Jason Terry's old.
Has enough depth to go through the playoffs and not be tired.
I'll tell you what I wrote down here. I said, who's going to beat Golden State? And then right after I said, nobody. All right, Golden State should be your favorite in the Western Conference. Now, I did say I do have a Golden State-Houston West Final. I'll give you that. But Golden State, I still think, does not get the respect that they deserve for what they've done this year.
I still think Clippers could probably beat them. That is such an amazing rivalry.
It's a good rivalry.
7 games.
You know, but if that game the other day proved anything, it's that Golden State.
Yeah, they have a lot of pieces. They have a lot of firepower.
Chris Paul gets clown-suited. And it wasn't just the crossover, but all day.
Yeah, all
Curry
day
was Paul had to keep fouling. He was touching him all the time. Couldn't put a hat on him. It was, and they come back. They were down. What were they down? 17 seconds.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And they just come all the way back. I'm gonna drop some statistics about the Golden State Warriors. So their average game. Okay, first of all, they've had 43 games this year where they've won by a differential of 10 plus points. Their average differential is over 10. That is close to the top 5 all time. 4 of those teams won the NBA title. The 5th team, the 71-72 Bucks, lost to the top team, the 71-72 Lakers, with Wilt and the logo. That team had Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And also, Golden State, I don't want to hear about, Golden State jump shooting team, don't play great defense. That's ridiculous.
They probably have the defense.
They are number 1 in offensive efficiency and number 1 in defensive efficiency, kids. The only other team to do that, the 96 Bulls. Can I interest you in that? One of the greatest teams of all time? Can I interest you in that? All right? I don't want to hear about Golden State questions. I really, as good as 2 to 10 in the Western Conferences, I just can't foresee a scenario where the Golden State Warriors lose. They are so good. They really are.
They don't have the experience, though. I know they made it
That,
the
I'll
second
give you
round,
that.
but
I'll give you that. But if this season has proven anything, I think they are ready.
they probably have the best individual players on playing defense. So they got Clay, they
Klay
got
Thompson.
Iguodala, they got Draymond Green, defensive
Absolutely.
player of the year.
Mm-hmm.
They got Bogut can play some D. David
Absolutely.
Lee's a rebounder.
Yeah. Harrison Barnes come off the bench.
Yeah, he's not bad.
He's not bad at all. I mean,
You got Livingston. You got
yeah.
another good defensive player.
Length on Livingston. I mean, Golden State, they should terrify you.
Basically, all the teams in the West have depth.
They really do.
Compared to the East, it's
Yeah.
not even a comparison.
But I like you brought up Houston. I think Houston is the second best team in the West. I think they're tied with Memphis right now for second in the West.
Memphis doesn't scare me at all.
Memphis is a weird.
That's an iffy team. They always make it, but they don't challenge.
Memphis finished 7th last year. Played OKC, gave them a hell of a run.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're gonna play even, no matter where they finish. Whatever. But the other series besides the Golden State series, I don't know any idea how that's gonna shake down.
It could go either way.
So besides Golden State or Houston, the one other team you could see coming out of the West, sort of your dark horse, who would that be?
Oh.
Do you have one?
OKC if they make it.
Ooh, really?
Who's the 9th seed right now?
Well,
I'm trying to think.
New Orleans is
New
9.
Orleans.
They're a
I
half
can
game
pick
back
them.
of OKC for the last playoff spot, as we broadcast today.
Yeah, because Clippers, they could make a run for a team, but I don't know.
They could. I hate the Clippers with a passion. I hate
Portland
them.
Trailblazers.
They're so fake tough. Anyway, I could do an episode on. I hate the
baby
Clippers.
Blake Griffin.
Oh yeah, I do
But,
not like them. They start stirring up. Anyway,
Trailblazers don't really scare me. Lillard doesn't have the firepower he did last year.
no, but maybe he gets rejuvenated. I think Aldridge is a
Oh, yeah, he's probably the best
excellent
power
power forward. I was telling you last year how
Or
great
you
Aldridge
got-
was.
The mascot killer.
Yes.
Solid piece. We're just
Robin Lopez, yes.
Just watching
He'll
that.
be terrorizing
Yeah, they're terrorizing
mascots
your
all playoff
mascots.
long, no matter what happens.
Got Wesley Matthews.
Yeah.
If he's back from injury yet, I'm not sure.
I wrote down dark horse in the West, and they shouldn't be a dark horse because they're not really a dark horse because they won the title last year. But San Antonio,
I think.
hello, San Antonio.
I know everyone says they're done. They're
Why?
old, but
They're.
you gotta watch them.
Can I
can't take
interest
them for
you in
granted.
16 straight seasons of 50 wins plus? Can I interest you in that? That's pretty good.
That's not bad.
They got Hall of Famers on their team. Tim
You
Duncan,
got 2 of them.
Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili's a Hall of Famer. I know you disagree. I did
Not
that
a
just
huge
about
Manu.
you. Manu
Oh, you can say
Ginobili.
3 Hall of Famers: Tim, Parker, and Kawhi,
Oh, that's projection.
and no Manu.
That's projection.
Because
Maybe.
what? Kawhi's leading in steals right now, and
Yeah, he's.
he's the top.
What if Kawhi gets hot in the playoffs again? Scary. Kawhi Leonard's a scary human when
No.
when he's playing good basketball.
You picked your dark horse team, San Antonio. I'll pick OKC. But who's your dark horse player to step up? Like you were just talking about Kawhi.
Ooh, like a dark horse
Yeah,
on
like an
San
MVP.
Antonio
No, just throughout the West.
throughout the West.
To show up, lead his team to victory.
Ooh, jeez, that's a good question. Well, if the Pelicans get in, why not Anthony Davis to give Golden State a good series? I am a huge fan of the Brow. This was in January. Me and Devon were talking, and I said at this point because New Orleans was right hovering, I was like, if New Orleans makes the playoffs, he could make a case Anthony Davis MVP.
I don't know about
And
it
you were
anymore.
like, not anymore. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Flat out. Not
Like
a
he stayed consistent, but
No, it's just that
everyone else has
Curry,
raised their level.
Harden
Yeah.
have elevated
Yeah.
this to a new point. But Anthony Davis is maybe Hakeem Olajuwon-esque with the way he can fill up a score sheet. There are certain nights you're on quadruple double watch with Anthony Davis. Like that was 2 weeks ago. Oh my God, he's filling up the stat sheet. It's excellent. So maybe if they get in, but if like another team,
I'd probably say from Golden State, the dark horse player would probably be Clay. Because
that's not a.
Well,
I don't
nobody
think that's
talks
that.
about Clay though. Everyone talks about.
I don't think
Steph
people
did.
talk about Golden State enough. Their whole roster, to be honest. But Clay doesn't get. I mean, can I interest you in 37 in 1 quarter?
Honestly,
that's pretty good.
Clay, probably 2 years ago, if I was looking at Curry and Clay,
Yeah.
I would have took Clay. I would have traded Curry away. Like nothing.
You have some.
Clay can play defense.
Wild
He's an elite
theories.
defender. And Clay's always been consistent throughout his career. Curry
Clay's
now.
Scottie Pippen.
I think he's Scottie
And
Pippen
Curry's
this
a Jordan
year. I
when
think,
you look at it.
because honestly,
The styles of them.
still
I mean,
last
I'm not
year.
saying Steph Curry's
Yeah,
Michael
yeah.
Jordan. I'm not
But
saying. But in the parallels in their relationship, I think Clay is a Scottie Pippen.
This year, I would say he's a Scottie Pippen.
Because lockdown defender.
But last year, I would still
a
say
great
he
shooter.
would be the Michael Jordan of that team.
I don't agree with you there. I don't. I really think you're out to lunch there.
Okay.
But, so he's your
Yeah. He's
dark
my
horse.
guy that's going to score 40 points a game in the playoffs.
He's your Danny Green out of nowhere, shoot the lights out.
Yeah, he's going to lead them to the...
I'm still trying to think in the West, like of a team, maybe a team I'm not thinking like that's gonna go for, but
Yeah, you're a good pick with Anthony Davis, though.
what about Dirk Nowitzki? What if Dirk turns back the
He
clock
starts
here
lighting it up in
and
playoffs.
Dallas?
Because nobody's talking about Dallas anymore.
Well, they're the 7,
Yeah.
but Dallas
still.
could maybe play Memphis.
I would probably take Dallas in that series.
That's a tight series. In the guard play, I know it hasn't been there, but Monty Ellis is
He's starting to come back.
he's really playing well, and Rondo sort of had a
He's terrible.
interesting, tumultuous run in Dallas so
Bottom
far.
10 point guard, starting point guard in the league.
Bottom 10.
Yeah.
There's so many good point guards now. It's
Yeah,
hard to.
It's weird.
It's
hard
so
to
hard to
judge.
say.
All of them got
Like we
different
used to
playing
go
styles.
top 5, top 10 point guard, but now you have to really think. Well,
Yeah, in the West,
top.
like, in the playoffs, the playoff teams. What's the top point guard out of all of them?
I don't.
Well, obviously Steph,
I'd say
but
Steph, but you could
I
have
feel like-
an elite.
Get like Tony Parker too, if you really wanted to.
Tony Parker is having another Tony Parker year, but
Yeah.
you just
Nobody
don't talk
knows
about
him.
him.
Yeah.
All right, you want to switch tacks to the East?
Yeah.
Who's your Eastern Conference favorite?
Oh.
You don't. I'm surprised that you
I
don't
know.
have one. Just is it a bailout just to say Cleveland?
No, I don't think Cleveland's gonna go far at all. I don't know why.
Really? Wow.
I think Kyrie Irving's gonna struggle his first
Struggle.
series.
I was hearing some today. People are thinking.
Yeah, people are like he's gonna light it up.
Kyrie, if they get to the finals, could be Finals MVP. I was like,
Yeah, I was like, what? Everyone's talking about
Like,
Kyrie.
slow your roll here,
Kyrie's not
kids.
even a top 5 point guard in my mind, and everyone's getting so hyped
He
on
still
him.
got raked, but he might not be. He'd be close.
I'd
He
probably
might not
pick
be.
Washington. They got these old veterans,
Okay.
and they got the 2 young.
Have you watched
studs.
the last 20
I know they
games for the
haven't.
Wizards?
They haven't been so hot.
I'll say the
of late.
Raptors then. Sure, I'll take a struggling. Sure.
But it's a new game in the playoffs. 0-0, the record is.
Yeah, I hear you.
And their playing style, they can play some
What
tough
happens
games.
when they lose to the Raptors in the first round? 4 or 5 seeds. That's an
There's
interesting
no way.
series because I think the Raptors and the Wizards are have had similar projections here in the last 2 years.
Mhm.
The Wizards did win a series last year. Raptors should have.
I thought Wizards were going to beat Indiana, too.
For a
I thought
while
it was
there,
gonna-
Indiana was looking like a.
God, Roy Hibbert was...
I mean, they nearly lost to Atlanta in the first round.
Well, Atlanta wasn't bad last year.
No, but even still,
Mhm.
like, so Yeah, it's
tough to pick a team in the East.
But the different projections. I mean, I think if the Raptors lose to the Wizards in the first round, if they play, I think the fans are going to be really upset because they're very similar to you. We're not losing to a team with playoff experience like Brooklyn, and we don't have to play Chicago or Cleveland in the first round. So if you're a Raptors fan, you're playing the Wizards. Oh, if we can beat them, we're in better shape. Where if you're Washington, if you're a Washington fan, similarly, you're going to be thinking, oh, we just lost the Raptors. They're like us. We even won a series last year. We've regressed.
Yeah,
that's an important franchise shifting series.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
And that could really shape futures. But in the East, I think you're probably looking at Cleveland. As much as I don't like LeBron.
Everyone says this is the easiest path. LeBron will have to get to the final. And somehow I don't believe that.
Yeah, well, it's the way it goes. I really don't see an upset. If the top 4 seeds, well, the Wizards could beat the Raptors. I'll give you that. All right. But if that's the case, where Atlanta wins, then Chicago and Cleveland are going to meet in the second round.
But can't you see like a Boston upsetting Atlanta?
I don't know about that. I could see him winning a game or two, but Atlanta... It's not that I even think Atlanta's legit, because I'm not sure they are. And I don't think a lot of people are picking them to beat whoever comes out of Chicago's Cleveland series. But
that's going to be interesting. But...
Because it's just sort of been this flash in the pan. They've sort of climbed.
I don't see Chicago beating the Nets. The Nets could beat Chicago.
Or I think it would be the Nets. Or it would be Milwaukee if it was today.
Oh,
but it could be the Nets. I mean, there's still we could have to go.
It could still shape up. But Milwaukee's a very, very weird team. Very good on the
very weird team is right. Yeah,
because they're probably second best in defense to the Warriors.
Very good defensively. Yeah,
and they have Parker will be back next year, so this is already a great year for them. Picking second in the draft, in the playoffs.
Milwaukee things are. I mean, they're shaping up here for Milwaukee.
The trade didn't help them at trade deadline, but still
weird moves at the deadline for Milwaukee. Weird moves.
Probably trade away your best player to get
Michael Carter-Williams, who he's on a downward spiral,
which is weird. I didn't think he was that great in his rookie year.
Well, there were no real good rookies in his rookie year, to be honest. So he sort of not to say by default, because that's sort of trashing him a bit, but he had a pretty good year, but. It wasn't like he wowed you, Rookie of the Year, Michael Carter-Williams.
Like this year. But
because they still drafted a point guard in the first round, Philadelphia did. So that shows you how much confidence they had in him.
But I don't know, Milwaukee, if they can lock down a team.
So I'm starting to sense dark horse Milwaukee. I
know, Milwaukee's kind of that special team that they could do something.
Yeah. Maybe they could. Maybe Milwaukee's a dark horse. Maybe I'm not seeing it. That could be true.
I don't see. I don't see Cleveland doing
the
much.
Cavaliers.
LeBron will still score 37 and 7.
Yeah, he'll be LeBron. He'll be great.
But I don't think.
You're just
I know
not
they have
seeing
the piece. They have all the veterans with playoff experience.
So I'm interested. If you were to pick an Eastern Conference final, what is that looking like in your
that would probably be the Bucks and maybe Washington.
Jeez. So that'd be if it ended today, no one of the top 4 seeds.
Nope. Because the East is
and people are saying only 2 teams can win the East, but it's wide open.
Yeah, it's especially teams on the run, like Boston's won quite a few games the past couple of weeks.
They've been on a mission. Boston has.
Washington and Toronto has kind of been
definitely slumping.
Yeah.
The last 20.
Trying to find a word not to swear, but
yeah, well,
he found
no,
it.
they've
In Chicago, they've been just like Chicago, playing defense,
winning games,
pieces.
finding ways with their 8th and 9th guys to hit shots at times.
Maybe have a finalist for the Rookie of the Year on their team. Mirotic.
Yeah, Mirotic is really. He's a rookie, is he?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize.
Everyone's always like Nerlens Noel, Rookie of the Year. He's a double machine. He's got
Nerlens
23
Noel.
doubles all
Respect the
year.
flat top, man.
Man, he's probably playing 30 some odd minutes and he's getting 10 points, 10 rebounds, and that's it.
Yeah, man.
How do you get Rookie of the Year for that?
That's a flawed team.
I'd rather have Zach LaVine as like a second, like a runner-up.
Oh, maybe, yeah. That'd be interesting.
Parker was probably would have been Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Because he was having an unreal year.
He was having a pretty good year. If I had to pick a dark horse team in the East, I'm going to be selfish and pick Toronto. Because I think if Toronto plays well and they get out of this slump, and in the fourth quarters they start showing up, like this year they haven't at all. Last year, Toronto, if it was closer, they were down.
Yeah,
they were going to make a run in the fourth.
Yeah, that was their
This
quarter.
year, they are having leads into the fourth and just collapsing. And it's difficult to watch. If they can pick that up, I think they're a tough team to beat, and they could go to the Eastern Conference Finals. If they don't, they could lose in the first round.
They don't have much experience in the playoffs either.
They have very little experience. I grant you that.
But they do have some pieces. But
They got interesting players.
They got some big men that are very good. They probably got.
They do. I mean, Valanciunas, Johnson there.
Patterson. You got
Patterson sub in. You can play Hansbrough a bit as well.
You get Chuck Hayes.
Chuck Hayes.
That's Matty P's boy.
Chuck Hayes. When it's a blowout when Chuck Hayes checks in, or they are in big foul trouble. When Chuck Hayes
isn't terrible on defense. Don't ask.
I don't think Chuck Hayes has raised his arms in years. He plays defense like this.
One guy Toronto should have got was Reggie Evans, though. I remember him playing for Toronto, and he was a beast.
That could have been a good fit.
But they're big men, especially if Valanciunas plays his game. He could be a top 10 center in the East.
Oh yeah,
like he
could be
good.
if he keeps progressing.
Yeah.
They don't give him the touches in the second half at all. They do not trust him. I wish they trusted him
honestly,
more.
when you want, I like the stretch four in Dwayne Casey's offense.
Yeah, the stretch.
That really makes his off because you got DeRozan, you got Terry Ross. You like those slashers.
Yeah, and you got
so
the
if you
slashers.
got Patterson on the outside,
and then
perfect.
even James Johnson.
Yeah, he can play as a four.
He can play a stretch four spot, do different stuff. It's interesting. I think this year it's almost been they've had too many good players. Like where it's hurting Ross that Lou Williams is playing more. They're playing Vasquez more. I hope in the playoffs. I hope the bench shortens. To be honest, and you give more minutes to your starters, and then when you need the bench, they come in and you'll know they'll be good.
Well, I think Toronto has the second best depth on their bench, except for Cavaliers have the best.
Cavs have lots.
And then Toronto the second.
I think that's fair.
So honestly, if I was doing KC, whoever shows up, whoever plays better starts.
Well, I think on any
it doesn't matter
on any
who
night you can
it
do
is.
that.
DeRozan's
Yeah.
slumping.
Well, I don't know.
Put him
I
on
don't
the
think you
bench.
take DeRozan.
Not a fan of DeRozan.
I know, but
He's like a
he's
Kobe.
their one. Well,
He's a Kobe Bryant to me.
And that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Kobe, one of the all-time greats. I wouldn't call him a good Kobe. I think he at times could be bad Kobe.
Yeah.
But
he just shoots the
DeRozan
ball
has not had a good season. He's not getting to the foul line like he did last year. That was
shooting
a big thing.
a lot more.
He used to get to the line. Lowry used to make more shots, and he was healthy. But this year, no. So I'm worried. I'm worried about the Raps overall. But I think if they get hot, they're tough to beat. And if they play defense, they'll be tough to beat.
Whoever gets hot in that division.
Whoever gets hot.
Just like the NCAA
But I still
tournament.
think
I don't think star power in my mind.
Cleveland.
I don't know.
It's gonna be hard for them not to come out of the East.
You don't know how those boys are gonna play. Kyrie and Kevin Love. and Mozgov.
But I know LeBron's gonna play.
Yeah, but you don't know how his teammates are gonna play in the playoffs.
I'm not as inspired. I hope Cleveland loses. Just don't see it.
Because remember LeBron, like his first couple years going in the playoffs, just terrible. Couldn't shoot, couldn't do nothing.
Well, he had that one. What was it, like 06 against Pistons or something? It's like one of the great games.
Well,
he individually just carried him. 07, they go to the finals. I'm not even a LeBron fan. Here I am defending
I know,
LeBron.
but under pressure back in the day, he would give up. He was the star of the league, and he would crumble under the pressure. But now, how do you know Kyrie's not going to do that? How do you know he's going to shoot 2 for 20?
I don't. And I think it's a distinct possibility, and that's why I'm wary about him. But I just think even if they do struggle on a given night, they're still going to be able to.
The only team that I think in the East that has no chance that's going to get blown out or swept is the Nets. No chance from the Nets.
No chance. They just say that like the Nets could beat the Bulls. But you're saying that in the matchup against the Bulls?
Yeah, but if they can beat the Bulls because the Bulls are damaged.
Maybe.
But depending on Butler and Rose.
I guess.
Because
that you're just not that speaks more to you're less confident about Chicago than your confidence in Brooklyn. I hope Brooklyn doesn't even make the playoffs. I hate Brooklyn.
Not a huge fan.
ISO Joe and Darren. I hate Darren Williams
But if you look at them,
Brook Lopez.
Just like the Washington and Toronto, it's 0-0.
Yeah.
If you go right now, Toronto would get called. Like they play right now, and so would Washington and the Nets. But if you give the Nets, like obviously the chance of the playoffs, 0-0.
Yeah.
Joe Johnson might be able to do something.
That's true. He might.
But the only team, if Jimmy Butler's out and Rose is out, who's going to guard Joe Johnson?
You struggle for a name.
Yeah.
It'll be harder. They'll have to.
That's the only team they have a slight chance.
Yeah. I guess so. But yeah, I overall, I still think the Bulls would win that series.
We'll see.
I think they would just get it done. Even if Rose.
If they have Rose and Butler, I would say they probably 4-0, but
yeah, sweet.
Other than that, it's probably a 7-game series.
Yeah. All right. So, who do you have coming out of the East and the West?
Oh.
At this juncture,
I'd probably say Washington.
Oh.
And I don't know. The West is kind of tough. I'd probably say Houston.
Houston, Washington.
Yeah. Make it very interesting.
And Houston winning the title? Or if you say Washington wins the title.
Oh, Washington.
I watched that game Sunday. Washington wasn't even in it.
Whoever comes out from the East is going to be on a hot streak.
The West, I think the West is going to beat any team from the East. I'll take the West's winner against the East winner.
I know how you're thinking about that. But there's going to be a lot of Game 7s in the West. There's going to be a lot of playoff games.
It could be, yeah.
'Cause they're all going to be tough. But whoever has the hot streak in the East, they can go right to the finals and maybe trump a West
maybe.
team.
You're making an argument, but I just don't see it. I just don't see how a team from the East is going to beat the Warriors or the Rockets, even if it is Cleveland, even if it is LeBron. Golden State's a better team. Golden State is when we look back, if Golden State wins the title, and let's say they don't even go to Game 6 in the West, or let's say they have a challenge there. Let's say the finals goes to Game 7.
Yeah.
But then they beat Cleveland in the final. We're talking about one of the top 5 to 10 greatest teams of all time in a ridiculously tough Western Conference.
I don't know if anyone will say that, though. Because no one's really about...
They should.
No one's talked about Golden State much.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
It's weird.
If this was a LeBron-led team, if this was Cleveland 62-13,
that'd be a different story.
Who's gonna beat this team? Oh, and this and that, and look at their stats and their efficiency first and all.
Well, that's what they're saying about Cleveland, though. For the East, who's gonna beat them to get to the finals? Which is weird.
Yeah. Well, interesting. I think Golden State wins. Hopefully it's a Golden State Toronto NBA final.
You don't want your Toronto team to win.
But well, I love them, but I don't think anybody's can beat Golden State. I think it's a really cop-out answer to say Golden State and Cleveland, but that is what I'm going to say. And it's a safe choice. I realize it's very safe. And I don't like being safe with picks, but upsets are harder to happen in the NBA.
With the Kyrie Irving MVP playoff.
No. It'll be whoever plays the best for Golden State, which will probably be Steph Curry. Could be Clay.
What do you think, LeBron LeBron would probably be shutting down Clay or Steph?
Maybe not. Steph Curry is a bad boy.
I don't know.
He's pretty good. Anyway, that's my final. Golden State wins, and for you, who was it? I've already forgotten. It was
Washington
Wizards.
Washington's gonna beat Houston.
Roger. So you can visit this video in 2 months' time when you realize I'm right and Devon's right.
Thank you.
There you go. Golden State, this year's champs. You heard it here. Chump for Chumps. There you go. What did I tell you?
Sure, turkey dinner tonight.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh, 312. Sure, yeah. I didn't want to see that.
Fricked over the lighting when you did that. When you leaned forward.
Oh, you back.
Good thing you didn't do that.
Penguins lost. Thank you.